If you wouldn't mind, we go back a few months ago when Maxon announced the acquisition of Redshift, and what Redshift is, or the small company that has in-house Intel renderer.
GPU rendering. It's a
That's
GPU rendering engine.
Yes. So that was the announcement for NAB, and then following that, I would like to ask you what is the integration process and what is this new functionality is adapt for the market, and how is the reaction on the market on that?
Well, the reaction to the Redshift acquisition was extremely positive. It gave us a very solid rendering strategy, especially GPU rendering strategy moving forward. In terms of the integration moving forward, it's moving along extremely well. Redshift recently released a public beta of their 3.0, so that's out there right now. People are playing with it, so it's in public beta, and it includes Cinema 4D noises, which is something that people really enjoy using in the world. And those Cinema 4D noises were actually available to other 3D packages and other packages that Redshift supports as well, so they can use the Cinema 4D noises with those other packages as well. Also, we worked with Redshift to bring them to Apple, and at WWDC this year, Apple's developer conference, they announced that they would be working on a version that works with Metal with Apple, and hopefully by the end of the year have something. So Maxon has always been dedicated to serving our customers of both platforms, and currently Redshift is only on Windows, and so we've given them that encouragement and that connection to make a Mac version hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah, I just have this little flyer about the Redshift that I get at the press briefing.
Yes.
So now coming back to SIGGRAPH. So what we're seeing at SIGGRAPH, one of the main theme is the mainstream adoption of HDR. So the question is how that affecting the tool, your flagship tool. What is Cinema 4D? Is that any changes? What is going on?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really change the way people would work with the application. We've always supported HDR lighting imagery for lighting inside of Cinema 4D, and it is a very popular way to light a scene just for that very realistic looking lighting. I think most of the artists, when they start out their scenes, the first thing they do is bring in an HDR for the environment lighting of the scene, that type of thing. So it doesn't change the workflow at all. It's there for people to use it, and it is a very popular way of lighting a scene.
Yeah, but in the past, your Cinema 4D was used mostly by the professional, was target for the professional. Now, when many people become professional, I would say they're self-professionals, right? These tools maybe has been changed, or maybe the strategy of the company is a little changed.
No, it's if people are using it more often, it doesn't change our strategy that much. There's not much more we can do than support the format and support that workflow. I'm not sure much more we could do to facilitate that, but the workflow is there, and people are using it. It is very popular.
Okay, so another question about VR at the SIGGRAPH, how it's affecting Maxon product?
Well, there was some. Obviously, there was some a couple of years ago when it started to become more popular. Having VR cameras for rendering was very important for us to get that out for our customers. And we have a lot of customers who have been producing VR content since it's really been getting hot in the last, 2 or 3 years. So we do have some interesting projects that have been done with Cinema 4D in VR.
So what to expect from Maxon at SIGGRAPH 2019 at the show floor?
Sure. Well,
People who cannot come here can hear from you about your
what we're telling
offering.
Sure. Well, we announced Release 21, which has a a host of great new features, new caps and bevels. It's got a Field Forces tool for using dynamics in MoGraph, which is one of our most popular tools. It's got a new rig for Mixamo characters, and there's a ton of extra features. But the real big news is the change in the way we're selling Cinema 4D. We're choosing to democratize Cinema 4D, make it more accessible to more people. We're bringing one Cinema 4D to the market now instead of the several different versions that we have, so there'll be one Cinema 4D. And we will be implementing a new entitlement system so that no more serial numbers, pretty much buy from a new universal shop, download, go, create your account, and go immediately. And management of that license is very simple. We found that a lot of our customers are working at home, working at the office, freelancing someplace. They can log into their account, use Cinema 4D, go home, log into their account, use Cinema 4D. If they forget to log out, they can remotely log out that other machine. So we've made it really easy for people to download, start to use Cinema 4D immediately, and use it wherever they want to, the way they want to. And then finally, we did introduce a subscription model, which is extremely low priced, $60 a month or $50 a month in euros, or 50 euros a month, so that people can get into the application.
So that's the change. That's the change. That it's more affordable.
Well, the way we deliver Cinema 4D, and that it's extremely affordable, more accessible.
So is that available right now?
It will be available early September.
Okay, wonderful. That's great. I was at the press briefing with Maxon, and I was really pleased to hear that Maxon is a very wonderful place for women, that they are looking for a job in that field. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. We've over the years we've been trying to bring more women artists to come demonstrate. We are at our booth right now. We have many artists come out and show their work, and which we stream on live at c4dlive.com. And over the years, it's been a struggle for us to find female artists to come out and present for one reason or another, mostly because there are not a tremendous amount of women in the industry. And it's surprising because it's an artistic industry. There should be tons of women in there, right? So we've been doing everything we can to facilitate that. A couple of years ago, we had a panel where we invited some very leading women in the industry to come out and talk about the struggles for women getting into the market, and sometimes the conversations about maybe why they wouldn't want to come out and present and those types of things. And we're trying to fix some of those problems. We've been trying to bring some more women in the industry. One of my employees has been mentoring young female artists to advance their skills in Cinema 4D and art in general. And actually at the show this year, the show right now, we actually have one of those women that has been mentored by one of my employees, and she's one of our presenters. So we're doing everything we can to try to make this all-inclusive. And not just for women, but we want to be as diverse as possible. We have a young artist who's from Mexico who's come out, and he's demoing in both English and Spanish. So we just want to make this it's a creative industry. It's an art form, and we want to make sure that we're giving everybody the ability to be represented.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the everything. Actually, I have one more question about the motion tour.
Oh,
motion tour with other companies. So
Thank you.
can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we're doing a 26-city roadshow, 15 cities in the U.S., 11 cities in Europe. We're bringing 3D production out to the whole world. We want to get the word out that it's accessible, that everybody can do it. We hired a studio out of New York that does a lot of visual effects and motion graphics work to put together a signature piece for us. And we're going to take from storyboards through their entire production process and teach people how they created this piece, so that we can show people how accessible it is to do this, how 3D, though complex, is if you really break it down, is not as difficult as you might seem. And we're partnering with Dell and NVIDIA and Adobe and actually NAB to bring this program around the world. And we're starting with the 26 cities, and we haven't even really launched the registration yet, and we've already got some interest from Sydney, Australia, India, Mexico, Brazil, that want us to come and do the same presentation, because it's a great inclusive type of thing. Show people a production studio showing, an average, an artist can pick up these tools and do it as well. So, and that's what we're going out to show people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And see you next time.
Okay.